What if the secret to being happier was realizing that you're not as important as you think you are? Now, I mean this in the nicest possible way, because sometimes a lot of our conflicts come when we presume what people are doing is to annoy us, is to get at us, is to bully us, that there's some sort of power play game going on. Well, actually, I don't think that we are that important to other people that they go out of their way to make our life miserable. Now, of course, there's going to be some people that's true of, that we have problems with, and they're going to do stuff to annoy us or take revenge or get back at us. But I think a lot of the time, we interpret things in a way that only makes us unhappy. I was talking with a priest friend of mine, and I brought up a person that was really making me miserable. It was causing me a lot of stress. And I just presumed that everything they were doing was to make my life miserable, to criticize me, to bring me down, just because that's what they like doing as some sort of sick hobby. And it was my priest friend who suggested, what about if you just presume the best of them? Just presume that they're not out to get you, that they're not trying to make your life miserable. And do you know what? At first, this was really, really hard. But the more I tried to do it, the better things got. I realized that actually me presuming that they were out to get me made me really defensive. It made me really hostile to them. No wonder they were probably a bit weird about me, because I was probably being really weird to them. And actually, over time, not only did I feel less victimized by them, but I actually started to see them in a different light. I started to notice that perhaps they were having a bad day, that perhaps things weren't all good in their life. The readings that we have on the 25th Sunday of Ordinary Time draw this same theme out. In our first reading from the prophet Ezekiel, we're reminded that people can change. Now, in this reading, it shows us that people can change for better or for worse, but people can change. How we were and how they were back then doesn't have to be how we are now. In the second reading, St. Paul encourages us to be like Jesus, to have his humility. St. Paul encourages us to always treat others as if they are better than us. And in this way, we stay humble. And in the Gospel reading, Jesus tells us the story of a father that asked his two sons to go out and do some work in the fields. And the first son says, no, I don't want to go, but then ends up going and working in the field. The other son says, yeah, I'll go, but then doesn't. And this reveals a truth about humanity. What we say and how we act doesn't always reflect what's going on in the inside. And so just because somebody is being hostile or they're being difficult doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us or with the relationship. If I presume that everyone's out to get me, it's going to make me defensive, it's going to make me hostile, and it's going to make me drive people away. But if I presume the best in people, I start seeing the best in people. But I need to pray, and we all need to pray that we wouldn't take things so personally. We wouldn't let people having bad days affect our self-esteem, affect how we think about ourselves, and affect the relationship between us and them. So let's pray that God would give us the grace to be as humble as he is, as humble as his son Jesus Christ was.